So hi, it's me again, Julia and Luzon, and for today's video, I will be discussing the indigenous knowledge and practices in our community. So bear with me because I'm gonna use 3 languages. Yes, like for example, Cebuano, Tagalog, and English. So enjoy watching and listening. But before we proceed to our next discussion, what comes to your mind when you hear the word indigenous? How about indigenous knowledge? Also practices. So according to what I have found or na-research na ako, indigenous is something or someone who is native to an area or who naturally belongs there. In other words, born or engendered in, native to a land or region, especially before an intrusion. So, example, kaya atong mga ancestors, atong lolo o lula nga, at ato na sila namatay, ganun sa ilang, kung asa sila nagpudyo, ganjod. So, indigenous knowledge is a local knowledge or knowledge that is unique to a given culture or society. Indigenous people, on the other hand, referred to as First People, are distinct social and cultural groups that share collective ancestral ties to the lands and natural resources where they live. So, lagi mo to. Ato mga example na nga, kana mga indigenous people is our parents. Parents. Wala. Parents or atong lolo and lolas. So, dito ko mo to, no, nga, why napasa nga mga practices ng atong mga ancestors, sa atong mga parents. Even my parents, na kuan dyan nila nga mga practices, kung sa ko mga practices nila sa akong mga lolo or sa ilang ginikanan. Pero napoy ubang ginikanan ron nga lagi tungod sa mga updated nga modern technologies, marag nagkaan man na magka-fade ang mga practices sa atong mga ancestors. So no, enough na tag-chika-chika moments. I'm going to discuss na kasi the indigenous practices that is being taught in our community. So, enjoy watching and also enjoy learning for the eye. One of these practices is through prediction of weather.
Predicting the weather.
Our parents and past ancestors are belong to indigenous people now who taught us or me in this kind of practices. There are different ways of predicting weather, but as what I have observed, the ants, of course.
Hi, Mom.
When ants are coming out of nowhere, and simply means, or simply it signifies that there will be a heavy rain coming. So, ako dyan siya ma-relate sa science, no, kay according to what I have found, ants' antenna can detect tiny changes in temperature, which might allow them to sense and react to the drop in temperature that usually accompanies a rainstorm. Just like itong before Bagyong Odette, story time. So before Bagyong Odette, in our house, there are too many ants in this washing area. It wasn't that normal. Some ants are flying. Our kitchen is full of ants that time. And in that, we can predict, or my parents predict, that there will be a storm coming soon. So yes, that prediction is legitimate because Typhoon Odette hits us and greatly affects our lives and also our environments. So let us proceed to the next practices that's being taught in our community. the way of using herbal as our medicine. In our community, only some people will believe on boiling leaves for their illness. Some will immediately take a medicine to cure for faster recovery, of course. But as we immediately boil some leaves to cure the illness we feel. Just like when I got diarrhea. So instead nga mo inang code cycloberin or diatabs no kay maabot dyan na kasagaran nga tamba sa mga sakit sa tiyan or something diarrhea ganun. My mother immediately picked some avocado leaves, at least 7 to 9 leaves. Boil and wait to turn the water into red. And to make this explanation legitimate, so according to emedicinehealth.com, the seeds, leaves, and bark are used for dysentery and diarrhea. And that kind of statement is enough and a proof where it is very safe to use and drink boiled avocado leaves at home. There are too many benefits we get from boiling avocado leaves, not only to cure diarrhea or dysentery, but also can be used for making healing tea. So let us move to our next discussion, which is the way we preserve foods during those times now we are not surrounded of modern technology. So my parents way back then preserved food using salt. This kind of preservation nowadays is called salting. Salting is a traditional method of fish processing in many countries of the world. Salting is one of the earliest techniques for preserving fish. Salting refers to preserves by lowering the moisture's content to the fish to the point where bacterial and enzymatic activities are retarded. This kind of preservation lasted for only 2 to 3 days. But nowadays, we are surrounded by modern technologies where refrigerator is there to help us to preserve food. Unlike salting, the foods in salting lasted only for 2 to 3 days. But this refrigerator lasted more because of the temperature inside the refrigerator. So proceed to our next discussion, which is the preserving and selecting good seeds for planting. There are many ways on how we determine a good seed to plant in our garden. But the most effective one is through putting all the seeds in a container with the water, of course. Those seeds that float isn't that good for planting, while those it sinks thus. And this kind of practices that we've been doing through the years. According to my research, yes, Jethro Tull is the one who discovered the seed. He's an agriculturist and known for agricultural reforms and inventions such as seed drill and horse-drawn hoe. So for our last discussion, which is using of indigenous technology in the daily lives. Using technologies nowadays is crucial to each other's lives. It serves as their communication for their loved ones, especially when he or she is far. Indigenous technology includes computers, televisions, and many other technology that uses electricity. Having this in our daily lives makes our work easier and can do 5 to 6 household chores within one day. So technology greatly affects our daily lives, our daily activities and lives. It really helps us to lighten our works, especially in household chores. Only when to get through of this is to have time management. We need to use technologies with limitation, only to avoid being sick. Those practices that I've mentioned above is slowly fading because of the modern technologies. I just can't accept the fact that some parents are slowly changing their perspective in their lives. Avoid discriminating each other's life, belief, and practices. Instead, build a better community. Again, this is Juliaza and Luzon. Thanks for watching.